Now it's time to fit the rear frame, subframe. So it's kind of a trick to fix everything. And if this looks awfully homemade to you, it's probably because it is. Brackets, brackets, brackets. All over the place brackets. Takes a lot of work to do. But I'm glad I used the aluminum sides. Because with the aluminum sides I have put a lot of attachment ears and stuff for the rear sets and for the suspension and so on, so I shouldn't complain too much. You know the difference between an episode of OCC and one of these shows? Some 300 kilograms. Take this for example. This is the attachment ear for the rear shock linkage to the swing arm. This should be quite heavy, but it's made out of sheet metal. Now I got some of the pieces back from powder coating, and it turns out like this. Giant maracas. So next up for this is to get the new steering bearings. So I got them here. So now we're getting back to a motorcycle, hopefully. I thought of reusing the old triple clamps, and now they are back in place in the new frame. And you think, why is he reusing stuff now? Is he going soft? But no, I have manufactured these ones as well from a previous project. From this angle it doesn't look so much different from before, but I think even for the untrained eye there will be a noticeable difference when we see it from this view. So now I have assembled the engine and the frame parts together as they are back from powder coating. So it's starting to look like a bike, and the rear swing arm is fitting in nicely, and in the middle of rewiring the electric system, so unfortunately there need to be some wires as well. As you can see, I have reused the Honda RS250 linkage to the rear shock. I put in a chain roller and also a chain or swing arm protection, a slide guide or what you call it, from KTM for the bigger MX bikes. And then I've made a new swing arm pivot shaft. It's split in two halves, so I can pull either one out to the sides and take out the engine without the whole bike collapsing. I put some aluminum sleeves in these attachments here between the aluminum and the steel frame to get the proper length to the bolts, so you get an elastic attachment. That is important with these vibrating bikes. In this carbon fiber box you find the Mega Squirt 3 system just under the seat. I made a box for that just to make it not getting wet. As you know, I have no longer any generator on this bike because it was messing up with the DC signal, so I couldn't get the lambda to work, and it was also disturbing a lot of other components in the fuel injection system. So I'm using these lithium polonium accumulators. They last about 35-40 minutes on one charge, so that's quite okay, I think. Hopefully the chain will find its way somewhere in this tunnel, I hope. One really important thing with the coolers is to mount them very flexible. So I mounted these in rubber attachments, just to make sure that the vibrations from the thumper doesn't break anything or cause any leakages. So now that most of the dirty work is done, no more grinding, welding, I hope. It's time to get the engine tuned up, which is a little bit more clean, I hope. So we'll move over to that side. So now it's time to build the engine. I'm using the 80mm stroke crank from Husaberg, the one with the 35mm big end. That is gives a more sturdy crankshaft, I think, not flexing so much, and hopefully the mains will tolerate that. I have been struggling with too much side forces on the piston, so I wanted a larger, taller conrod. So here we have some custom made from Carillo. They are 145mm tall instead of 135, so 10mm taller. When reducing myself down to the 8mm stroke, I feel like compensating with going up to 104 in bore. So I have some custom pistons made from JE pistons. Nice stuff. And this should be a liner at some point after me and the lathe has done some work. And then we have special head gaskets also for the 104mm. They are multi-layer steel from Merako in Czechia, looking like a dream. Hopefully it works like that as well, but we'll see.